Hey everybody, welcome to my card review number 8. This will be the final one before the big reveal on the 5th, where we'll go through a whole bunch of core class cards and the rest of what's in the Voyage to the Sunken City. I'll try my best to be, I'll break it up into little segments and then maybe go over different, I would say, I think for the core set, I'm probably just going to do classes to Voyage for the Sunken City. I'll just go through them by class, and then a separate video, I'll do the core classes. I'll do the core class and just go by each. I'll make a separate video for each class to kind of break it down since now we have a more cohesive thing. I think I'll probably start with neutral just to get that one out of the way first so we see what cards can go into every deck, and then we'll go into the separate versions of the deck, or separate versions of the class. And then, kind of integrate what we've seen with Voyage, plus the neutrals, plus that class cards for the core set. And then try to have an idea what we want to build and go through for the future. Anyways, let's start off with Glaive Shark. It's a 4-mana, 4/3. It's a common for Demon Hunter. Beast tag. Probably doesn't matter. Battlecry. If your hero attacked this turn, deal 2 damage to all enemies. Pretty solid card. Not bad. It's for 5, I guess, technically, unless you already have a weapon queued up. You could play it, and then, or not, you wouldn't want to play it. You would want to, 1, attack first, and then play this. Or if you have a weapon already equipped, attack, and then play this. Make sure you do it in the right turn order. I know I personally seem to have that problem of doing it out of turn, and I'll end up, playing, and then oh, no, I should have attacked. Why didn't that work? But it's not bad. I mean, before it got nerfed, we had a 4-cost Consecration, dealing 2 damage to everything, which saw a fair amount of play, but that was before, it got nerfed to just dealing minions, and there's an actual way in Paladin to usually, reduce everything to at least have 1 health. Overall, this is a okay card. I don't think it's great. It's not great statted, at least, and so it's kind of costly for Demon Hunter, honestly. 4 cost is usually on the higher end for Demon Hunter, unless you're running usually demon-specific things. So it might see play, might not see play. We'll just have to see. Next up, we have the Shaman Colossal minion, Glug the Gulper. It's a 7-cost, 3/5 with Colossal 3, so we got 3 little appendages right there, kind of making out the whole little eel body. I like that. It was revealed like that to, make the whole cohesive picture, and it looks really cool. You can kind of see how it all connects, and it poops out little bodies that are 2/2s with taunt, and its ability is after a friendly minion dies, gain its original stats. So even if you buff these tails, when they die, you'll get the original stats it had. So you want to get, if it was a 3/3, you'd only get 2/2 onto it, but that's kind of cool. So they'd have to get through these first, or if you already have minions in play before you play this, play it and then attack with those minions, and it should work out pretty well for you. And that's kind of nice. It just keeps on getting bigger as you go. So even if you had I would say, wiping everything out right away, somehow deal 2 damage to all minions or something like that. You kill all your minions, hopefully some of your opponents, and then you just have 1 really huge minion. We'll have to see. It looks pretty good. Doesn't look terrible. Doesn't look bad. I mean, 7, you're getting, 2, 4, 6. That's 9, 11 in stats for a 7-cost creature, minion. And, yeah, it looks pretty good. Should be pretty fun to play with. All right, next up, we got the other crew member, Any Stormcoil. As you can see in the back of my, background, I have hers. There's Any, there's Sir Finley. We've already seen the Dark Elf. I can't remember his name right now. But with Any, she is a 5-cost, 4/4. Battlecry, choose a friendly mech, summon a copy of it with Rush, Wind Fury, and Divine Shield. And I think that's probably only going to really fit into, for what we have mech synergy for so far, at least in Standard, it's going to be most likely Paladin or Mage. And for Mage, I think it has better application, just because Mage usually has some response, like with Mecha Shark, it's whenever you summon a, minion, deal 3 damage, randomly split. So, I mean, you could wait till turn 8. If you're looking for a big play, play the Mecha Shark, play this to get a copy, and then you have one that can already attack, Wind Fairy and Divine Shield. If somehow you can play that Colossal minion that whenever a mech attacks, deal 1 damage to all enemies, And then, you're able to copy it with this. Not only will you get that big minion, or the Colossal minion, but since all Colossal abilities automatically get the appendages when they come into play, you also get the appendages too. And so with both of them, it's 2 damage for each one that attacks, so that's 4 damage right away to all, enemies. And somehow, the dream is keeping a Mecha Shark out there, and that'd be really awesome. But, 5 cost, just, it's iffy. I want to say it's great, but I think it can come and play in a pinch. The if you can copy the Colossal mech for what is it, Paladin, that'd be great too because it has a great attack ability. So we'll just have to see how it works. It's really hard to judge it because we don't have a lot of mechs, and as far as neutral mechs go, there's 3. There's 3 neutral mechs, so we're really going to need to see what's going to happen in the core set, if there's more mech, support, or if there's more mech, I don't know, anything in the other classes throughout the Voyage. All right, moving on. And so before we get on to the next card, if I set this up correctly, I do believe we've seen a lot of really cool minions, big effects, pumping up stats with cool abilities. And I've already told you guys about how some of those Colossals have a death rattle ability, which, could be kind of bad because they're death rattle, so they don't trigger right away. Well, I had a feeling Hearthstone would find a way to balance it out. Next up, we have the 3-cost 2/4 epic neutral minion, Smothering Starfish. Battle cry, silence all minions. And so, yeah, that's most likely going to probably see a decent amount of, I would say, competitive play, mainly tournament play, maybe not ladder so much, just because people are trying to run more consistent things, but I think in the more competitive formats and tournaments, we're most likely going to see this. It doesn't have the ability to trade, so, if it's not usable, it does kind of get stuck in your hand, but to silence all other minions, I think would be a really good ability. You need to push through. Your opponent has a bunch of taunts. If taunt is a really big thing, or death rattle's a really big thing, and you got to push through for it, then playing this down is going to allow you to just make that push and go in, not have to worry about the death rattles or the taunts. And I think this is going to be a pretty decent card. I've been seeing some other videos where people been about it, but I think it's going to be good. We'll just have to see. Next up, we have a 6-cost epic spell for Warlock, Shadow spell. It's Abyssal Wave. Deal 4 damage to all minions. Give your opponent an Abyssal Curse. And the Abyssal Curse is a curse that your opponent will just have. We've seen curses kind of before where there's a card that stayed in their hand and dealt them 2 damage. Each turn it was in your hand, I think. And this one, it says, at the start of your turn, take 0 damage. Each curse is worse than the last. So I'm thinking, and as it's been confirmed through, I think, the devs, that this actually is at 1. It just, basic stats is 0, but when it becomes their turn, they will take 1, and then they'll take 2. And, at a first glance, this is okay. Dealing 4 damage to all minions is a decent board clear. It has a chance to, get rid of a lot of minions. And giving your opponent cumulative damage is nice. I think I could see this getting paired with the what is it? Is it Curse of Agony? Where you give him that fatigue card, which was kind of cool. And so I don't know. It'd be kind of nice to see a little curse thing going on. We'll go ahead and there's another card later on that I'll show you guys that will have a little bit more curse synergy to it. That makes sense. But this almost seems random. We haven't seen the rest of frickin' Warlock, so there's a lot more cards to be revealed on April 5th, but it just seems kind of random and out of place, right? It seemed like they were really pushing a Murloc sort of synergy, and this just isn't anything related to it. Alright, next up we have Chum Bucket. It's a 2-cost epic spell for Warlock, and it gives all Murlocs in your hand +1/+1. Repeat for each Murloc you control. And I think that's kind of neat. I think it will probably end up in the more meme status. I feel like there's going to be a neutral minion out there, or Warlock specific, that we're going to get some tokens, or else this is just going to fall kind of flat. If you don't have an ability to, you're either going to have a lot of Murlocs out in play, and probably not a lot in your hand, or a lot in your hand and not too many out in play. And so this maybe will give a +1/+1 or +2/+2, which could be good second turn if you're able to just pump out a Murloc second turn, first turn, second turn, then play this. You have 2 in play. Let's say you have like 3 Murlocs in your hand, or maybe 4, who knows, depending on how spell heavy the deck might be. You give them all +2/+2, which is good. Murlocs with bigger stats can be nice. And it's hard to judge a lot of these cards right now. That's why I'm saving a lot of my I'm gonna do like a rating review of how I think these will have play, do that, how well they're gonna really fit in, or how often they will see play. And so we're just gonna kind of have to wait and see. Next up, we have a 1-cost epic minion for Druid called Bottom Feeder. It's a 1/3 with Death Rattle. Add a bottom feeder to the bottom of your deck with a permanent +2/+2. And so this will be that card. This will also obtain its Death Rattle as well. And so that'll be, next time you draw this or dredge it, it'll be a 3/5, which would be kind of cool because we already saw there's a 0-cost dredge spell. And so you could, I don't know, first turn play this, next turn if you're able to kill it or whatever, have it go to the bottom of your deck, dredge it up as a 3/5. It's going to be 1 cost, and then you're going to have a 3/5 on second turn. That'd be ideal. That's like the best, I'd say, case scenario. That doesn't mean it's always going to pan out that way. You might not have a dredge card to get or be able to use to get this. But once that one dies, then it'll go up again. So then it'll become a 5/7, which, would be nice. 1 cost 5/7. And it's just something that constantly keeps revolving and getting bigger and bigger. Unless, of course, it gets silenced by the smothering Starfish. And, it looks okay. I mean, just basic tempo, 1/3. We've seen that a lot. We saw that, what is it? There was, I think, in Kobolds and Catacombs, there was that mole that was played a lot, and just 1/3, a deck. This is just going to be thrown at the bottom. It's not going to disrupt the rest of the synergy for the deck. And so I think this will see play as well. This should be a good card. All right, next up for Mage, it's a Naga. It's 4-cost, 2/5, epic minion. After you play a Naga, refresh 2 mana crystals. And then switch to spell. And if I'm correct how this works, it will go back and forth. So first it'll be play a Naga, refresh 2 mana crystals, play a spell, refresh 2 mana crystals, go back to the Naga, play a Naga. It has potential to kind of just stack and get out of hand. The Amalgam will count as 1, and that's a 2-cost, so you'll be able to, turn 6, let's say, play this, then play your Amalgam on it, bam, refresh those 2 crystals. So then you have 2 crystals available. Play a spell that costs 1 or 2. It's really easy to do in Mage. 1 ideally, or even better, hear me out, a 0-cost spell. So then you need 2 more. Now you have 4 available. Then you could, I don't know, play another one of these, because then it went back to Naga. And so then you're going to play it and refresh 2 more crystals. I mean, this has good potential to really snowball out of hand and just get crazy. Will it? Might be more meme than dream, but we'll just kind of have to see. It looks like it's gonna be fun. I think some people are definitely you're gonna see it getting played and trying to have it go. And I mean, what it does is especially if you're trying to generate threat, you're gonna play it and it's gonna be a threat. Your opponent's gonna want to get rid of this thing because then it can just get crazy. So maybe if you're looking for something to kind of redirect your opponent's attention away from you, could be good. We'll just have to see. All right, next up we have Trench Surveyor. More mechs. Mage mech I'm excited for. And it's Battlecry Dredge. If it's a mech, draw it. I mean, this is going to be so great. It's awesome. 3/2 aggressively statted. Another aggressively statted mech. Just like Mecha Shark, which was a 3-cost 4/3. So it looks like mechs are aiming more on the aggressive side. This is ideal. It's weird that both mech and paladin both got very specific mech dredges. They got that 2/2 that gives us its stats, and this one has the dredge it if it's a mech draw it. And so, with more mech synergy, this will work. I think, with what we've been shown so far, someone's definitely going to try to throw together a mech deck with just those cards, and the Amalgam works. So, that's going to be awesome. Using that Amalgam, use this to discover things. The Mecha Shark's going to be great. I'm really hoping we get some cheap mechs, some low cost mechs. It's oh man, mech mage, mech paladin. I'm gonna play those. I'm so excited. There's a lot of new archetypes that are coming into play, and we're gonna be able to really kind of experience, I think, a new thing of Hearthstone. Right now, it's a lot of you have a few different like quest things. Something some classes are getting more synergy, push towards what they already do, and some are just kind of taking a different turn. Right now, I think spell mage is just the heavy end of things, especially quest spells or big spells, and not really mage or not really minion oriented. And with the whole mech package, if we give more support and synergy with it, it's going to push it forward. And last we have Zakul. Zakul, I think. It's a 5 cost, legendary 6/5 for Warlock. Aggressively statted. Your Abyssal Curses heal you for the damage they deal. Battle Cry, give your opponent an Abyssal Curse. So this only applies for while it's out in play. And as we saw, the Abyssal Curse, each curse is worse than the last. So this one will start to increase. At least I think it's cumulative. So I think this, the first one, like let's say you played the other card, that'll deal 1, then that'll deal 2. And then this will deal 3 and then 4. I think it gains like that, or it's going to be that one just deals 1 twice and this one will deal 2 twice. I hope it's not like that. If it is like that, that's really not going to be good, I don't think. But in my mind, it's cumulative. It's going to continue to grow and get bigger and get better. Each curse is worse than the last. So yeah, it's just going to get better. And with this card coming out, if it's just those two, there's definitely got to be more Warlock synergy. They showed us a lot of Murlocs. Maybe that's a little bit of a misdirect. I think maybe for the reveal, they might do more curse-related things, because we've only have it's just this and that other curse card that deals 4 damage to all minions. And so we'll just have to see, wait and see. It's never fun. No one likes to do it, but that's where we're at right now. Anyways, thank you for tuning in, watching my video. I really appreciate it. After this, if you want to, I'll probably be posting up another video later about kind of the schedule I'm going to be doing. Next, my kind of, what's on the docket is to be posting the top 8 decks in each region that have been getting first place top 8 for the tournaments or grandmasters, and then kind of go over them, look at them, and just kind of do an in-depth dissection of hey, what's getting taken apart, what decks are changing out, and what decks can we possibly see come in. And right now it's more speculation than it is anything else. So we'll just kind of have to, play around with some things. All right, well, y'all have a great day.